Welcome back to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week, and I hope all of you are enjoying the heat and the warm summer days. On Wednesday, July 20th at 10:30, a pool tournament, that is billiards, will be at the Stephen Sampson Center. It's located at 800 Anna Street. I believe I'm participating with hopefully the mayor of Woodbridge, and the seniors at Sampson Center are going to play a senior group from Woodbridge in a little bit of a tournament, and I'm hopeful that it goes well. I'm rooting for our seniors at the Sampson Center. Phone number is 820-4045 if anybody wants further information. And also that afternoon, the 20th Annual July Fest, which was the subject of last week's show. This event will take place at the Miller Evans Logan Recreation Center. Neighborhood organizations, as well as the city's police and fire departments, testing for blood pressure and HIV, diabetes, as well as other testing will be available. The Housing Authority and Trinitas Hospital are co-sponsors. The July Fest Committee is a collaboration of community and faith-based organizations and local residents that are working together to improve the quality of life in the Elizabethport neighborhood. It's sponsored by the Housing Authority of the City of Elizabeth and the City of Elizabeth, and it's open to all, no matter where you live. So come enjoy July Fest with us on July 20th at 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock. On Friday, July 22nd at 5 o'clock, I'm going to join members of the Peruvian community as well as Elizabeth residents for a flag raising ceremony. I announced it on last week's show that the flag raising was going to be last Friday. That was a mistake. It is this Friday, the 22nd at 5 o'clock in front of City Hall. The Peruvian community will raise the flag in celebration of their independence. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our public information office at 820-4124. And on Saturday of this week, on July 23rd, is going to be a housing fair sponsored by the County of Union and Brand New Day. And I'm pleased to be joined on this week's show by Miss Jacqueline Jenkins, who is the outreach coordinator for Brand New Day. Jacqueline, welcome.
Thank you.
And Miss Karen Dinsmore, who is the assistant director of the Union County Department of Human Services. Karen, welcome.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you ladies taking the time out of your schedule to join me on the show here today. And one of the things we need to talk about is housing and why you're here today. And I don't think either one of you have done this show before. So Karen, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself first and how long you've been with county government and what your roles are, and then we'll get into the 23rd.
Sure. As you said, I'm the Assistant Director of the Department of Human Services for the county. I've actually worked for the county for 22 years. Previous to that, I worked in the private sector. I came to the county because I wanted to help people, and I'm in the perfect department for that because human services, that's what we do, we help people. The housing fair is one of the opportunities we have this summer to offer assistance to people, particularly through the form of information. So we were really glad to be invited on your program today to promote that fair because we're hoping we get a wide audience on Saturday, July 23rd.
And Jacqueline, tell me a little bit about yourself too and how you wound up at Brand New Day, where you're from,
Good question.
Good, there are easy ones. It's all about you.
Yes, right.
I hear that at home all the time, and I try to discourage that conversation.
I'm the outreach coordinator and faith-based coordinator for Brand New Day. I've been there about 2 years. Started out as a housing counselor, and then we saw a need to do more outreach in the community, especially with faith-based. And so I have two roles. I work with the community, and I work with faith-based organizations. And previously, I had my own business called Skill Rise, and that was a nonprofit organization that taught life skills for the young people. And I'm also a ministry leader at Morning Star Church in Linden, New Jersey.
Okay, and you from Elizabeth? Or?
I'm from Linden.
Oh, so you're from you're a Union County gal?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for taking the time, both of you, to join us on the show. And now we can start with why we're here today and the purpose of the Union County Housing Affair. Did this emanate from your department, Karen, or did it come from Brand New Day? How did it start?
Sure. Well, that's what's beautiful about it. It's really reflective of a partnership. We're two of the leaders of the event. The Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders created about 2 years ago a foreclosure task force, and this event kind of developed out of that foreclosure task force. That we have several partners for this event, but Brand New Day took the lead in suggesting that we promote a housing fair. They've been involved in similar events in the past. To be perfectly honest, the county's really never sponsored a fair such as this. We also have other co-sponsors, one of which is the State of New Jersey Housing Mortgage and Finance Agency, also known as HMFA. So this is an opportunity for the Union County Foreclosure Task Force to participate in an event to help people. It will be held in the city of Elizabeth, but residents of other communities are invited. And we're hoping on a hot summer day on Saturday, July 23rd, people will come out. There's no formal agenda. It will be an open fair with many resource agencies for people to come to address whatever their issue is. So you might come in with a different issue than I would, but there'd be an agency there that could help you.
And Jacqueline, working with Brand New Day, which has been one of the leaders in the city of Elizabeth in dealing with foreclosure issues, you've probably seen a lot of what Karen just talked about. And maybe you can, without saying anybody's name, tell us some of the stories on the foreclosure issues.
Absolutely. We are a HUD-approved housing agency. We've been in the community for 26 years, and now we've branched off into Irvington and East Orange. So we have 4 lines of business. We have the real estate end, we have a community education and organizing, property and asset management, and our latest project or our latest service is youth services. And we're very proud of that right now, because what we do is we work with at-risk youth, ages 19 to 24, and some of them may have criminal backgrounds, some of them do not have their GED. So our mission there is to help them get their GED and to teach them a trade so that they can go to work. So right now we have 75 youth down in the city of Elizabeth who we are working with to make them more positive assets to the community. And so we're proud of that. Also, as you know, Mayor, it's no secret about the housing crisis in the state, across the country. But what people may not know is that there's help. There's free help available. Many of them do not want to talk about foreclosures. They run from the topic. So Brand New Day, our mission is to bring help, healing, and hope so that people can come out and get the resources that they need. I understand that there's going to be a lot more foreclosures coming down the pike shortly, and we want to help people get ready for that. So they could have issues in anything to do with housing, whether it's utilities, whether it's homelessness, whether it's energy, weatherization. We want to bring in all of those service providers that can address anything that has to do with housing.
And how do you see it? When you see, because right now the fight's going on in the courts, and what the banks have done, and predatory foreclosing, for lack of a better word. I mean, they basically targeted certain people, and whatever paperwork could be pushed through, they did it, and that's all been held up.
Yes.
But they're going to get their acts together, and they're going to start foreclosing on property again.
Yes.
And it's going to bring up a big number.
It's about education. We have to educate the people. We have to let them know what's available to them. And so we do have many cases. I can tell you about one situation in which the young lady, she had a 10.5% interest rate, and she could not get a modification. And the lenders and the predatory lenders had took advantage of her. Well, finally, after 4 years of being in foreclosure, she was able to get a 3% interest rate and reduced her mortgage. It was like $1,500, reduced it to like $1,000. So there's hope for people, but they have to come out and get the hope.
It's unconscionable that banks in today's climate will charge 10.5% interest and not renegotiate with the client. Do you see that, Karen?
Yes, we do. And you mentioned the court-ordered moratorium. So right now there's been a hold on foreclosures. One of the things that we're very concerned about, and actually it's the reason we're holding this housing fair now in July, is the fact that the floodgates are going to open soon. Once that moratorium is lifted, foreclosure filings, as you said, are going to continue, and there's going to be a backlog of those that have been held, plus any future ones. So people like Jackie and the agency she works with, housing counselors, are going to be inundated with people who need help. But I would like to reinforce a point that Jackie made, because that's one of the reasons we formed the Foreclosure Task Force. We find that people tend to wait too long to seek help, oftentimes because there's a stigma attached. It's happened to me anytime if I've ever been involved in something or gotten in trouble with overspending, back when I was a kid, of course. You don't want to admit to it.
You're still a kid.
Unfortunately, as you said, some of these people fell victims to predatory lending, but no fault of their own. They were misled. We're hoping with this event we encourage people to come early and seek help, because the example that Jackie just gave of someone who was helped, it's because they came forth before they were foreclosed upon, before they had to leave their property. And we're really hopeful that people will hear this program and say, oh yeah, maybe this might happen to me, let me come out. Or I have a neighbor that's talked to me about this problem, let me tell them about this.
Besides the agencies like Brand New Day, what other agencies, Karen, have you rounded up or asked to be part of this effort?
Sure. Well, these agencies actually also participate on our foreclosure task force. Jackie mentioned that her agency is a HUD certified counseling agency. There are housing counseling agencies throughout the county, and actually we have 3 that are certified in this county. One of them is Brand New Day, one of them is Urban League of Union County, which is also located in Elizabeth. And then we have an agency on the western end of the county called Faith Bricks and Mortar. So those 3 agencies are helping co-sponsor this event along with us.
And who does Brand New Day work with besides these other agencies? You work with?
We work with a lot of lenders. We work with the PNC Bank, with Wells Fargo. The list goes on in terms of who we work with.
Jacqueline, tell me what happens when you knock on the bank's door and say, hey, you know, you're charging this lady 10.5%, and frankly, there's a better way to help this woman or guy, whoever the case may be, help this person meet their mortgage commitments, but you got to relax this 10.5%.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
how are you received?
Well, you know, they
slam doors first, or
no, they typically respect what we say as a housing counselor. Many of them are open. They're more open now than they have been in the past. I must say that. The banks are more lenient now. They're willing to work with people. So we're not getting this
because they don't want the property,
They
right?
don't really want the property. No, not at all. So they try to find ways, whether it's whether they do a deed in lieu or whether they do a quick sale, they try to find ways. And then we bring in mediators many times. We can only take it so far, and then we bring in mediators who will talk further with the banks to help the families out.
Jacqueline and Karen, we're going to take a break, run some commercials if you stay with us, and we'll talk more about the housing fair on Saturday and about foreclosures in Union County. Please stay with us. After these messages, we're back with more regarding the Union County Housing Fair on Saturday, July 23rd.